So today we're going to show you how to make a chocolate ganache. Chocolate ganache is chocolate and heavy cream. You can also use different flavored liqueurs in there if you'd like. It's optional. Chocolate ganache is a very useful chocolate cream. It can be used for frostings, filling cakes, mixing it with custards, like for cream puffs. You can mix a little of the ganache in, make a chocolate custard with it, pastry cream. Or you can make truffles. You can use a melon ball scooper, a little mini ice cream scooper, and you can make little balls out of them and roll them up. You can make little round truffles. You can roll them in cocoa. And today we're going to show you how to make chocolate ganache. Starting out with 1 cup of heavy cream. We're going to bring this to a boil. So you can see here our heavy cream is starting to boil. We're going to add 9 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate to this one. You can use dark chocolate, you can use bittersweet, whatever your preference. You're just going to mix that up. You're going to turn the flame off. Mix all this up until it's all melted. All right, the chocolate's all melted. Now we're going to add 1/3 a cup of Kahula. Kahula is a coffee rum mixture. We'll mix all that in. What we're going to do after we mix this all up is we're going to pour it into a bowl and we're going to wait for it to get semi-soft. If it gets too hard, you can just melt it over some warm water again to get to the consistency of like a buttercream or a frosting. That's when you're able to work with it again. So we have our chocolate melted, and we're going to do this just a little bit differently. I'm going to make truffles, but I'm going to make them the easy way. I'm just going to do them on a paper, on a cookie sheet lined with butter, and we're going to pour that mixture over it. So we're going to take a sheet, and we're just going to butter it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of parchment paper on top of that buttered sheet. Now we're going to butter the parchment paper also. We're going to take some butter and we're going to butter all this up. Now we're going to take the chocolate and we're going to pour it into that pan. Now we're going to take this pan with the chocolate that we poured in here. We're going to wait for it to get semi-soft, where you'll be able to just kind of push it through with your finger. So we're going to chill this for a little while. Probably take about 20 minutes to a half an hour to get kind of a little semi-firm. And then we're going to top it off with some nuts. Then we're going to cut them into little squares so that they can be eaten. So this is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And you can see it's almost at the point where you can almost kind of roll it into a ball. It's still a little moist. But if you're going to ice your cookies or fill your cakes, this is a pretty good consistency. You can even go a little thicker with it. You can go ahead and ice your cakes or your cookies with this. We're going to let this harden up just a little bit more. But what we can do now is to go ahead and put some ground nuts on there. So we're going to take some ground cashews, salted cashews that I ground up in the food processor. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cover this whole pan with nuts. And when these get to the consistency where you can roll them, cut them out and roll them where they're semi-soft, you can roll them and put them in nuts. That's okay too. We're just going to make truffle bars. It's going to be easier and quicker. We don't have to spend a lot of time making them all nice and fancy. Now we're going to let this get hard before we cut it. So I put the truffle bars in the freezer so they would get kind of hard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice through them. And you're going to make the size that you want for these little tasty treats, these little bars. They'll just be truffle bars. They're not the round truffles like you see in the stores. You can roll them in nuts. But the reason why I did the buttered paper, so that when you're ready to lift them, they peel right off of the paper, and you can just peel the back paper off of them, and they come right off once they're frozen. So these are going to have to sit a little longer, but basically that's how you make the bars. Once they're chilled enough, the wax paper, the parchment paper with the butter will peel the bottoms right off of them. This is what you wind up with after they're done, and they're nice and soft. You can chew them with a beautiful Kahula liquor inside them. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe.